Hi, this is Adam Blaylock, and you're listening to Adam the Movie Guy. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the show. Warning, the show you're about to listen to contains strong language and an unhinged host. Don't take me too serious, I'm doing a bit here, so stay the fuck off my back. Enjoy. If this shocks you, if this offends you, then you clicked on the wrong fucking podcast. Hey everybody, Adam the Movie Guy here, doing another mini episode to bridge the gap between my last full-length episode to my next, where I'm going to be covering the Alien franchise, starting off with the first two films, so be on the lookout for that when I drop it within the next couple of days. As for this episode, I'll be naming 5 great horror characters that fell off due to various reasons, whether it was a lack of sequels, lackluster sequels, controversies, and so on. I'll be naming them in descending order to least fallen off to most, so let's get started. Number 5, The Creeper from the Jeepers Creepers franchise. Every 23rd spring, for 23 days, it gets to eat. Eat what, you might ask? Well...
Eat what?
Yes. The Jeepers Creepers franchise consists of 4 films and multiple comic books. Now, the Creeper looks like a man from the distance, but up close and personal, he looks like some weird demon man-bat-looking motherfucker wearing a badass western coat and hat with weapons made out of human body parts like knives, spears, fucking throwing stars made out of human bone and covered in human skin. It's just really fucked up. Oh, and he also has a medieval-looking axe. I don't know why, but he's got one. He also has these bat wings that come out of his back so he can fly, and he drives a creepy-ass old 1940s Chevy truck, which he likes to run people off the road with. And it may or may not be alive, but the less said about that, the better. Now, the Creeper is such an iconic horror monster that it's such a damn shame the franchise took such a nosedive. The first film was a great horror film, the second one was a scary, actionized thrill ride, the third one was a laughable disappointment, and the fourth one was so goddamn bad I can't believe it exists. Which is funny since the fourth movie was supposed to be a semi-reboot and revival of the series, but succeeded in fucking burying it into the damn earth. Aside from 2 bad movies, there's also another big-ass uncomfortable elephant in the room in regards to the franchise, particularly with its creator Victor Salva and his crimes. Now, having said all that, looking at the films he made in this series, 1, 2, and 3, not counting 4, since that one was another director entirely, I am a huge fan of the character of the Creeper as a horror monster, and I love the first 2 films, with part 2 being my favorite actually. It's just a shame that not only does part 3 suck and part 4 is a steaming pile of shit so bad a coked up monkey wouldn't even stoop to throwing in some asshole's face, but unfortunately the real life monster was Salva. If there's one silver lining in this extremely dark cloud of a depressing background is apparently Salva sold the rights to the franchise so he no longer is benefiting from it financially speaking, so at least there's that. Although nothing can make up for the horrible crime that was committed. So, bottom line in regards to the films and character, I personally love the first 2 films as I said, and fuck 3 and 4, and the character of the Creeper is incredible. So I would recommend checking out 1 and 2. However, if you don't have any interest or discomfort with seeing the movies and want to pass on them given the background of its creator, I understand too. While some may be able to separate the art from the artist, I don't blame people who can't in these particular cases. Now let's move on to number 4, since this is kind of bumming me the fuck out now. Number 4, The Collector from the 2 Collector movies. This was made by the guys who made the Saw films and was originally intended to be a Saw prequel, but it became its own thing, which honestly I'm glad because the character of the Collector is one creepy motherfucker. So he has a thing for really jacked up booby traps, disgusting insects, and even has a trained attack dogs. He wears this creepy ass mask and his eyes tend to glow in the dark in a lot of shots of the movie, which makes him really unsettling and inhuman. The first film in particular, he was more of an unknown entity in human form. At least that's the vibe he was given off of. Where in the sequel, The Collected, he was more of a low-rent, horror-themed Bond villain with even more elaborate traps, killing a large amount of people at once, a creepy-ass lair, and even having drugged-out zombie henchmen. No, really, I didn't make that last one up. While I liked the second film, I feel the first movie, he was a lot scarier. There was a third film in production that started filming a couple years back, but shut down, and now apparently it's back up and running. So I hope we see this third film to completion, since I really want to finish this trilogy. Number 3, Bughuul from the Sinister Films.
Children, have you ever met the bogeyman before? No, of course never, for your money is not yours. Hush, hush, boogeyman. Hush, 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 here comes the boogeyman. Don't let him come too close to you. You can't shoot with me, can. You can't shoot with me, can. You can't shoot with me, can. Can't shoot with me, can't shoot with me.
Now, the first Sinister film starring Ethan Hawke was fantastic, and the character of Bughuul being this ancient deity who feeds off the souls of children was a great addition to the horror genre. The first film had Ethan Hawke's character being a true crime novelist trying to unravel the mystery of these ritual-like murders that's been happening for decades and maybe uncover who's doing these god-awful crimes. Unfortunately for him, he realizes a little too late that he's not in a true crime movie. He's in a horror film, and he's not dealing with a normal flesh and blood killer, but this entity that's God knows how old. Now, the creepy Super 8 footage of the murders are so unnerving that they're still effective whenever I go back and watch the movies. Unfortunately, what steam that was built up by the first film was kind of lost after the second film came out, and Bughuul took a back seat to his enslaved ghost kids that he's been feeding on, with Bughuul being reduced to mostly bad jump scares. Now, he may look a bit like a late 80s rock star wannabe, but he's definitely interesting, and I think a well-made third film would be the comeback he needs. Number 2, Mary Shaw from the Dead Silence film.
Beware the stare of Mary Shaw. She had no children, only dolls. And if you see her in your dreams, be sure you never, ever scream.
Now, before some smartass says, "What the fuck do you mean she fell off? She was never on in the first place," I say to you kindly and respectfully, shut the fuck up. Because she was a fantastic character in a good movie that should have at least had one more sequel. The film Dead Silence is such an underappreciated horror film that it is beyond me on why she doesn't get more attention when people talk about horror films. It's a gothic horror ghost film gem that had Donnie Wahlberg in it playing an asshole cop. So basically the same role he played in the Saw 2 movie. And pretty much whatever other role he gets. Back to Mary Shaw, though. Her backstory of being the ghost of a woman who was a talented ventriloquist in the 1940s, who was accused of killing the child that harassed her during a performance, and was murdered by a vengeful mob, so her spirit over the years killed everyone that was involved and their children and then their children's children. The tale of revenge from beyond the grave is as old as time, and this movie was a haunting watch that stuck with me. And that's not even mentioning the creepy-ass dummies seen throughout the film that both serve as harbingers of doom and Mary's tools for revenge, being her children, essentially. I highly recommend everyone listening to see the film so it gets the appreciation it truly deserves. Now on to the number 1 pick. Now, this horror character fell off so damn bad it's a crime, since he had so much steam and then just vanished off the face of the earth. And okay, what the fuck is that noise? Okay, someone just slid a piece of paper under my door. Hang on one second. It says open the door. Alright, joke's over. What the fuck? I'm back, everybody. Sorry about that. It just so happens that the guy at my door was none other than Slender Man, who was my #1 pick of horror characters that fell off. And don't worry, he didn't hurt me or anything. He was just asking for $20 to buy booze. He's been hitting the bottle hard ever since he fell out of the spotlight, which is a damn shame. He went from being an internet horror icon to offering sloppy toppy in the streets for cash. Side note, on Mondays, he offers 20% off, so listeners may want to look into that if they're interested. You won't be disappointed. His tongue game is pretty impressive for someone with no face. Anyway, on to his background. He was created around 2009 in the Something Awful Forums contest by a man named Eric Knudsen, with pictures of Slender Man appearing in old black and white photos in the background, and this whole mythology and speculation was built around him, and later that same year the YouTube series Marble Hornets, based on the Slender Man mythos, with him being referred to as the Operator, catapulted Slender Man into the mainstream, and a huge slew of video games came out, with the first and best being Slender, released in 2012, which saw a slew of copycats and even a semi-remake, semi-sequel by the Marble Hornets crew and Slendy's creator Eric Knudsen himself writing the game, called Slender the Arrival. That also got a 10-year anniversary update not that long ago, with the whole game being rebuilt from the ground up in an entirely new engine. As for Slender Man's physical appearance, he's always depicted as being a very tall, slim-looking man with all-white skin, no face, and sometimes he wears a suit with a red or black tie, or his body appears to be wooden like a tree. For the people he stalks, he often causes electrical devices like phones and cameras to go haywire, making the person feel sick and nauseous, causing them mental strife to the point of paranoid insanity, and he has a fascination for taking children to God knows where, possibly in his own world or dimension. What he does with them is unknown, but that's what makes him so damn creepy. I mean, you could just be chilling at home, going over to the window to let in some air, and the creepy fuck is just standing there looking at you.
Can't see him. What's he doing?
He's just standing there, menacingly.
The character was everywhere in the early to mid-2010s, but it all came crashing to a halt due to two things. One, overexposure, and two, being heavily associated with a real-life crime, which is a near-fatal stabbing of a 12-year-old girl in 2014, which caused parents across the nation to panic and wonder what the hell their kid's fascination was with this so-called internet boogeyman. It was the worst possible publicity the character could get, and it really made him uncomfortable for a time to talk about. The documentary Beware the Slender Man that released in 2016, which focused on the stabbing, really highlighted that. It's a miracle the girl survived, and in 2018, a theatrical movie simply titled Slender Man, which had Joey King in it, sucked so much ass, it sank whatever tiny amount of interest was left in the character after the controversy. But I hold out hope that the character will make a comeback in some way, since he was a pretty big deal in the earlier days of YouTube, and he's just too iconic not to come out of the woods and onto the big screen once again. The last thing I wanted to mention about Slender Man is that the show Robot Chicken did a really great parody of the character that makes him surprisingly wholesome. Take a listen to it. I honestly kind of like this interpretation of him.
Angela.
Slender Man, I knew you'd find me one day. I drew your picture all over my Trapper Keeper.
I need you to do things, Angela.
Anything for you, oh Slender Man?
You know that little bitch in your math class? Nicole!
Yes, I hate her. What do you want me to do? Stab her? Burn her? What?
Invite her to your birthday party.
What? Why?
It's time you two settle your differences. Be the bigger person.
But I hate her.
Don't argue with me, Angela. I'm a Slender Man.
Okay.
I need you to do something else.
Anything.
Try to study an extra 30 minutes a day. I think you'll see a marked improvement in your grades. You said you'd do anything for Slender Man. With 30 minutes a day, 2 months to ask. Or should I go and ask that bitch Nicole?
No, I'll do it.
Now I must go.
Hi, Nicole.
Happy birthday, Angela. I'm so glad you invited me to your party.
Angela, I need you to do something for me. More cakey for Slendy?
Never meet your heroes.
Well, guys, this is the end of the show. I hope you all enjoyed listening since I enjoyed cooking up this little bonus episode to bridge the gap between my last full-length episode to my next one where I will be reviewing the first 2 films in the Alien sci-fi horror series. So stay tuned for that one. It's going to be fun. This has been Adam the Movie Guy, and I'll see you next episode.